a tarpa who will remain nameless. She lives in Sydney and she goes to university there. And, my friend Kate did this. She ends up like just house sitting because when you're at uni, she's like studying. She doesn't have time to make money. And so you can just bounce around house sitting.
Yeah.
And so it's like rich people are like, oh, we just need someone to stay here and feed the cat. Oh, we need someone to like walk the dog. Oh, we've got like a bit of a funny, weird house and we live in an interesting area. We just feel more comfortable if someone's in the house.
It's pretty sick. There's like websites for it and stuff. Yeah. My uncle and auntie are doing it at the moment.
You just bounce around.
It's really cool.
Save a fortune. Like I said, my mate Kate did it for a year and saved a stack.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, killed it.
And kind of cool that you're not in the same place for too long.
Yeah.
Like you're kind of getting a vibe of lots of different communities. Yeah. It'd be really good if you were going to like buy a house or rent a house and you didn't know where you wanted to settle yet. Yeah.
I might live in that neighbourhood for a month. Oh, get a vibe.
Oh, I didn't really love it, or this part's better than the other.
Yeah,
or, you know, that would be a good idea.
So the tarpa is in the house for a few months because their owners have gone to Europe for like a big, the European summer.
Yeah, right. Very rich, obviously.
Everyone's been in lockdown. I think also like retired.
Oh,
like older.
So it's probably the first time that they could go away.
Yeah, and locked down for a few years. They're like, you know what? Let's go to Europe for 3 months.
Yeah. So she's house sitting for like they're paying her to house sit.
Yeah. I think it's just like free rent.
Oh, okay.
So that's the deal.
Yeah.
You can stay here for free. You just got to take care of our German Shepherd.
Cool.
And the German Shepherd is an old German Shepherd.
I grew up with German Shepherds. They're gorgeous dogs.
They're beautiful. The German Shepherd was very old and similar to the other story. When the couple was away, the dog died of natural causes. In its sleep, she actually says, I mean, everyone has to pass some time, and it was just, she was getting a bit old, and one day she didn't wake up from the night, and it's actually a very,
And wouldn't you feel terrible that, I don't know, that you just said before, like, it happening on your watch is just awful, but, like, people that you don't know, it would be even worse. And
you have to call them and tell them.
You don't really know them that well, but also imagine if they're like, well, the dog shouldn't, it's not old enough. Then are you like, I've got to kind of
well, yes, it was
justify that I didn't do anything wrong?
Well, our Sydney tarpa said that the people they knew her time was near.
Okay.
And said, hey, I know it's a horrible situation, but it is what it is. The dog had a beautiful life. It's not your fault. Like,
that's nice that they were
comforting and understanding.
Yeah.
And the tarpa says, what can I do? I feel so like this awful thing's happened. You're overseas. Is there anything I can do?
Yep.
And they said, actually, yeah. The vet's going to take care of everything. We're going to do a cremation when we get back. We'll sprinkle the ashes in her favourite part of this beautiful thing. But we just need you to take the dog to the vet. For, that final, like, just take it to the vet. And they will, respectfully and politely do everything they need to do. And when we get back to the country, we can deal with the vet because they're like, the yucky part of being a vet, they probably deal with this all the time.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. And it's not unnatural for them to deal with that. Yeah.
So our Sydney tarpa
yeah.
goes, yeah, of course I can do that.
Yeah.
The least I can do, I'm so sorry, I'll be in touch. She hangs up the phone and goes, where's the vet?
Oh, yeah, I don't have any of the vet details.
She looks up the vet and goes, okay, it's over there. Because she's a student house sitting. She doesn't have a car.
And a German Shepherd's a
how
pretty
big is a
big
German
dog.
Shepherd? You had German Shepherds?
Yeah, pretty big. Like, big and quite heavy. Like
So
a
when you
bigger
said
than a
there's a-
golden retriever kind of vibe.
Oh, because if there's like small little dogs and then medium dog, they're like in the big dog
They're
category.
a big dog.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not a Great Dane or anything, but they're like big.
in
and
the big dog category.
Yeah, they're like stocky and
So
lots of hair, big tail.
Our Sydney tarpa decides she's going to put the dog in a suitcase and she's going to catch the train. She doesn't have a lot of cash. Taxi driver asking questions about this heavy case. She's like, at least public transport, I can just put my head down. I don't have to explain. No one's going to lift the bag. Whatever. So she goes to the train. Fucking hell.
No, you're just going to have to give me a minute. The dog's in a suitcase.
So she's lugging this massive, heavy as suitcase onto a train.
It'd be like over 20 kilos.
Yeah. We can imagine if
Pippa weighs 8 kilos.
Yeah, and she's tiny.
And she's like a little bean.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, more than
we're
20.
talking like 30 kilos, surely.
And again, if you got a cab, the cabbie would see the bag and go, "Oh, let me grab that," and put it in, like, what's in it? And like, again, you just don't want questions. So she gets.
But also because you're not going to the airport.
You're going to the vet. Oh yeah.
You're not like.
Where you off to, the vet? Oh, you got a pet?
They're like, oh, you're off on holiday. You go, no.
No.
Like, so you go, oh yeah, key in fucking Lodge's vet. And then they go, oh, what's in the suitcase? Like, it's not going to take them long to fucking figure out
what's going on. Yeah, I mean, when she goes, I decided to take the train, you go, yeah, I get it. And
I actually just would have driven to Sydney and taken her to be like, this is awful. Yep. So she's on the train with the beautiful puppy who's passed away. Yep.
And people are like, morning.
Yep.
Hey.
I would have popped my AirPods in probably.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And even though there's no logical or rational, reasonable way that a suitcase will just pop open, like, you're obviously thinking that, right? You're like,
and it's fucking sending chills down my spine at the moment, to be honest.
So she's nervous as fuck, but she finally gets to the station that she's supposed to go to, and she goes, "Cool, I just got to get out of the station, and from here it's like a couple of hundred meters is still a long way with a dead dog in a suitcase." But she's like, I'm at the back end of the journey, like I'm almost there. So she gets off the train and there's the escalator and there's a sign and it said, "Escalator out of order. You need to take the stairs." And it's like, just
no
my...
lift?
Yeah, not today.
Oh.
It's out of order. You're going to have to take the stairs. And she's like, of all fucking days, I've got this fucking heavy dead dog in a suitcase.
Can you please stop saying that?
So... she starts like step at a time. Like,
yeah, because you know when you're carrying,
one step at a time. And this young hotshot walks over. I assume finger guns are blazing.
Yeah.
And he goes,
two canoes, bit of
bit of a tough guy, young guy. And he sees,
a young girl
in distress, struggling to carry a heavy bag. And who said chivalry was dead? And he's like, "I know what I'll do. I'll come over and just offer some help." So
I've got it, sweetheart. Don't you worry.
So our Sydney Tarper hears this guy go, and this is a direct quote, "Oh, a pretty girl like you shouldn't be carrying something so heavy. Let me take care of you, sweetheart."
Fuck off. Yep.
And she goes, "Nah, mate, thanks. I'm all good." And then this is actually, and she's single, by the way. But this is a great little hack and a very subtle nod. She goes, "It's all my boyfriend's DJ equipment."
Yeah.
Because just what an excuse to drop the word boyfriend. So maybe he'll be like, "Oh, okay. Just wanted to offer. Have a great day."
Yeah, I would say exactly the same thing. Yeah.
So I was like, that's off the cuff.
No, women need to be prepared in these situations.
Okay, so there's nothing's off the cuff.
Nah,
she had that line ready to go?
Yeah, 100%. It's the same like once my car broke down and this guy stopped and I was like, "Oh, my boyfriend and my dad are on their way."
So it turns out the tough bro is a bit of a amateur DJ himself. So when she goes, "Nah,
stop it.
It's just my boyfriend's DJ equipment." He goes, "Oh, is it like?" And I don't know anything about DJing, but it must have been something like, "Oh, is it like the turntables or is it the modern fucking whatever?" And she's like, "I didn't prepare this for her."
Okay, so she's come up with this like little lie to just like get this guy off her back, which has ended up being a conversation starter.
Yeah. And she's like, "Yeah, it's these like turntables and hard drive and
I don't really understand.
the RC40 or whatever," just makes up this thing. And she's trying to like wrap the guy up, but he's just like being really persistent to the point where she's about 3 steps from the top and she runs out of patience. Our Sydney Tarper, who, just as a reminder, has a dead German Shepherd in the suitcase. She goes, "Mate, I'm not interested. Can you actually just f*** off?"
Fair enough.
Just says it straight up.
Yeah.
And you're entitled to say that straight away, let alone after all the follow-up, blah, 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 blah. So the guy has obviously witnessed that she's like small and petite and not strong and whatever, and like sort of size.
So he thinks like she's fucking, you know.
She struggled to carry this thing up, but he doesn't know how heavy the bag is. He steals the suitcase because he's a DJ enthusiast. He's like, she's weak and can't run. There's a whole bag full of DJ gear. I'm going to roll this chick. And he grabs the suitcase because it gets to the top and he just goes, grabs it and he sprints and just takes off. He's like, yeah, I've just robbed this bitch and I've got all this sick DJ equipment now. Because he's an amateur DJ himself. And he's like, oh, he's probably got the new RC40 turntables and steals the luggage.
What? What?
So I'm chatting and obviously like,
are you, what the she got robbed.
She got robbed.
Dogged.
Don't.
Sorry.
Don't. So she got dogged. And so I'm like, oh my God. So like.
And she's obviously fucking speechless because getting robbed is like horrifying, but also. At any time,
in a public train station during the day.
But she's like, that is someone who I don't know very well's dead dog in there.
Okay.
What a. He would have got the pride of his life, wouldn't he? He's opened this up and there's a problem.
So I said to our Sydney Taff, I was like, so then what? When he found out, blah, 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 how did you get the dog back? She goes, he stole it and I've never seen him or heard anything since. There is no more closure to that story that I know of. But here's the questions. First of all, when did he
realise?
Gets home and goes, yeah, sweet bag of things and goes,
oh, hello, Inspector Rex.
Does he take it back for? Excuse me, mate. I believe you told me there was DJ equipment, but there just seems to be a dead golden German Shepherd. Sorry, there's too many G's. Another thing you need to factor in is she, I assume, has to call.
I was going to say, how do you explain that to the family?
Oh, did you drop it off at the vet? I tried.
I got robbed. I cannot, but that is not where I thought that story was going.
A local DJ enthusiast stole the stuff. Why? Oh, because I told him the bag was full of DJ gear. Like, she could have made up any other lie. Oh, it's my boyfriend's snowboard. I mean, they're pretty expensive. Maybe that would get stolen as well. Anyway.
I am speechless. And luggage is expensive too. You know, what a loss. But 2 hits in one day.
She's lost her. She was living out of a suitcase.
Yeah.
Hang on. Was she going to then use that suitcase again?
Surely not.
So we need to get Sydney Tarfer on. And there's
no,
a lot of
I don't think I can. That is I can't. I don't know. I have nothing. I have no words.
Now.
That is insanity.
I don't know.
What a crazy story. That should be on like a TV show where they recreate people's like hectic stories, like they like act it out and stuff. Because that is insane. Hamish and Andy did it, wasn't it? Amazing Tales.
Amazing Tales. Who would play the thief?
Me.
Yeah, love.
No, actually not me. I don't want to carry anything heavy.
Last week, we shared a story from a tarper.
Yep.
About a dead dog. We've had a few weird dead dog stories. Someone goes, this seems to sound a lot like this viral story from 4 years ago. Okay, that's a bit weird. It's a very specific story.
Very specific. You know, you're not getting that mixed up with your mate Joe making up a story. Yep. Sorry.
And then someone posts this other article going, that old story about the dog in the suitcase.
Yeah.
Myth or bust or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's
myth or bust.
It's one of these like old wives' tales that's been told 1,000 times, and then there's like a 4chan thread about where it originated and who told it.
Yeah.
And it became increasingly clear that our tarper mate, this didn't happen to them a few weeks ago. It's too specific.
It's too specific, yeah. But we've been had. Because I'd never seen this story online before. Maybe I'm not hanging out in the right corners of the internet, or maybe I am.
I would say maybe you're hanging out in the right areas of the internet.
And I'm not seeing this story.
Yeah.
And I was very taken out, because I got a few DMs of people being like, hey, hate to break it to you, but that story is not true.
Yeah.
Or I don't, and I was like, oh, it makes us look like liars.
Fuck it. Well, look like fucking dickheads. Because here I am talking up an exclusive.
Yeah. We're viral.
So behind the scenes, this came through on Patreon.
Yep.
And you were looking through the Patreon and you sort of read the first sentence and went, I'll forward this to Ryan.
Yep.
He can do a follow-up.
Yes, because I was like, I don't want to ruin you telling me the story.
Yep.
I'll flick it to you.
So then you forward it on and I read it to my wife, Bridget.
And you go, holy
this is unbelievable. Bridget's like, what the that's the craziest thing I've ever. I was like, should I tell the story? She's like, you have to. That's like insane.
It's an amazing story.
So.
But is it just a tale?
Wow. A story it is.
Yes. A truth it is not.
Now,
a fiction. And Miss A, the author.
But I've got the phone number of the tarper.
Yep.
Who sent the story. Now, she goes, oh, it was my friend.
Did she?
Yeah.
Did she actually?
Well, it's not her anymore. It's her friend.
Oh,
but I still
the story's
think.
Changing.
I still think.
She goes, no, it happened to my friend about 4 years ago. And then the story went viral on
Yeah,
Reddit.
is she claiming it's the original? Like when my wife claims she invented the feature nail.
The feature nail, yes.
Should we call the tarper? And just because she got us?
And just ask.
Because if someone... Okay.
Egg on our face,
This is what I'm picturing. If you hear a story like that and you go, oh, maybe I'll send them the f***ing that old classic and just and then they ran with it. She's probably listening going, what f***ing idiots
it's
believe
like
me.
the AD prank. That I'm like, oh my God, they want to come and film my courtyard.
Everyone's
and you're like,
in on it.
I didn't think that it would go this far.
Everyone's in on it except gullible Toni and gullible Ryan.
Yeah. All right. Should we call?
Hello.
Hello, is that...
Yes.
Hey, it's Toni and Ryan, your favourite podcast here. How you doing?
Oh my God, are you serious?
Yes, it is.
Wait,
it
are you
is
serious?
us. No, this is not a prank.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I was just listening to your podcast. I'm just shopping in Kmart and I was listening on the way and feeling like a piece of absolute... It's taking all of my energy to listen to it again because I love it so much. But I felt so f***ing stupid and I was so annoyed because my friend...
Hang on.
Okay.
So we're trying to figure out what's happened here.
All right. So what we need to tell you... We'll beep your name, all right, in the beginning. But Miss A, what we are just talking about is obviously the story that you sent through.
Yeah. So...
Yes.
First of all, just... Did this happen to your friend?
No, it's my best friend's brother's ex-girlfriend.
No way.
Yeah, and she told us this story like 8-10 years ago, and it was the best story I've ever heard in my life. Like, I know it's a lot, but I was like that. The twists and turns, I couldn't believe it. And so when you talked about I was like, oh my God, this reminds me of this friggin' story.
Yeah.
So hang on. So a lot of people. Yeah, a lot of people in our Facebook group are saying it's fake, it's a hoax, it's been doing the rounds. So
it went crazy viral.
But are you
Reddit.
backing it in that it was the original tale was in fact a real tale of your friend's cousin's girlfriend's ex-partner?
I don't know. I don't know if it was fucking real, to be honest. Now that I rang my
your
friend,
story is changing.
I rang my friend.
Yeah.
No, I rang my friend and I was like, hey, you know that story? And she's like, oh yeah, man, that's the best story. And they tell it at parties. And, and I'm like, I don't think it's fucking real.
That doesn't legitimize it. I've told f***ing stories at parties that I've read online. Like, telling it at a story, you don't go, whoa, it must be real.
So you said, and what did they say?
She couldn't believe it. The whole family's up in arms.
That we told the story or that it happened?
No, that it's not real. We didn't know it wasn't real. This chick told it like it was her story. So my best friend's brother, his ex-girlfriend, used to tell this story like it happened to her. She told us it was this real story that happened to her.
So what you're saying is that you guys are realising now that you've been had as well.
Yes. We thought it was I've been telling this story for years. Not to everyone, obviously, but like at parties when I have a few to drink. Yeah. And I thought it was 100% because it was the craziest story I've ever heard. So who makes that shit up?
So we thought, oh my God, there's egg on our face. Kate's done us in, but really there's egg on all of our faces.
We're all realising.
I couldn't believe it. The phone calls that I made after I found out it wasn't, I was so pissed. And then I felt like such a piece of absolute crap.
Oh my God.
Because you guys, anyway.
She's a f***ing ex-girlfriend for a reason. What a lying bit of work. Wow.
What a Carla fucking Ponzi. Anyway.
I think your best friend's cousin's brother
Twice removed.
should get back with her just to dump her again.
Yep, me too.
Yep.
And then she goes, but I got robbed and I was carrying a parakeet that I